Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Manny Talks Shooting, the shooting podcast where I talk to whoever I want to because I can, because I feel like it, and you enjoy it. And you keep listening every single week. So thank you for checking it out. But let's talk the title sponsor of the podcast. This title sponsor is awesome. They're fabulous. You love them. You love them. We got Go Fast, Don't Suck. So go check out Bill. He's traveling the country, going to all these major matches and supporting them. So you should be supporting Bill because he is fantastic. He's got match jerseys. He's got banners. He's got decals. He's even the IDPA Nationals Porta Potty sponsor. So go help him, help you, have fun, and enjoy your day. Well, after we've talked about Bill enough, let's talk about today's guest. Today's guest is Mr. Nick Reynolds. Nick, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic on this mid-September day, if any of my listeners actually care when these are being recorded. It's good to finally have you on the show. If anyone doesn't know, Nick just happened to win the Area 8 Limited Championship, back a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it's been almost, I guess, 3 weeks now. Time's going by quick. Nationals is right around the corner, and yeah, that was about 3 weeks ago.
And how many sponsorship promotions have hit your email box?
Oh man, well, Bill's actually heading something up for me. So Bill has a couple of area sponsors for me that's helping me get to nationals, and financially reimbursing me to help get there and have a good time, and he's bringing some pride back into Area 8. So because I've won Area 8 and I'm from Area 8, he wants to try and help me out and support me getting the nationals this year.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Bill's a pretty good dude. We can say that, right?
Yeah. Bill's a funny guy with all the memes and all that stuff, and him being quasi locals, pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. Well, for anybody who really doesn't know who you are, Nick, who are you and how did you get into shooting?
My name's Nick Reynolds. I live in Pennsylvania, in Area 8. I've always grown up shooting guns. It wasn't until I officially moved to Pennsylvania from Virginia where I really started getting into guns. I started out shooting bullseye, and I didn't know anything like USPSA or IDPA even existed. And I thought bullseye was pretty cool because it's, better than standing there at a range and just punching holes in paper. And then I found a Jerry Michalek video of him shooting 3-gun. I'm like, wow, you can actually run around and shoot stuff. Like, this is awesome. So I checked out USPSA, and I've been hooked ever since. I actually got an M&P to shoot both IDPA and USPSA because I didn't know which one I would like more. And I shot my first USPSA match, and I was hooked. I was like, nah, USPSA is where it's at. Like, I don't even need to look at IDPA because whatever that just happened at my first match, like, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So ended up here ever since. Been shooting USPSA now for, I guess, it's almost, 8 years now, 7 years, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so you've been in the sport for a while.
Yeah.
So you said you started shooting. You bought that M&P. Was it just I'm assuming the original like Gen 1 M&P, right?
No, this was because of Jerry Michalek, and because I didn't really know what to do, or there was nobody there to help, I guess, guide me in my gear pursuits. Mm-hmm. I bought a M&P. I think it was their Long Slide Pro. This was before all the optics and all that stuff was all cool, so it wasn't all milled out and everything. But I got that to shoot limited minor because I didn't understand. I guess I didn't really do my research enough to figure out what major power factor was. So I was like, why would anyone shoot 40? That's stupid. I'm going to get a 9mm and it'll be great. Like, I don't need all this major minor stuff. And then afterwards, I think I shot my very first match was production. And counting 10 rounds and doing a stage plan based off of 10 rounds for a first round or for a first time shooter, that was a lot. So I think I ditched that after my first match, and I went to limited. And that's whenever I found out, major, minor, power factor, and scoring and all that stuff. And it just went from there. From that, I think I had that Smith & Wesson for maybe a year, and then I ended up selling that and get myself an actual limited gun.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What limited gun did you start with then after that?
So I actually got the CZ Tactical Sport, that's a great gun. That still is a fantastic gun. Only problem is that back whenever I got it, the only people that were really making parts for that was CZ Custom. This was before Cajun Gun Works and all that stuff. And CZ Custom, they were having a hard time getting in parts. And the way that I grip a handgun, it's not really I guess I don't know. There really isn't. It's not the way that a lot of people are teaching it. I take my trigger finger or my weak hand trigger finger and I wrap it around the trigger guard, and my fat of my thumb would bump up that safety. So I needed to get a extended safety for it, and man, I was waiting forever for CZ Custom to import those. I actually took my gun to a buddy of mine, and he welded a little bump for my hand fat, so it won't like bump the safety up while I'm shooting it. That didn't really work out too well, and just waiting for CZ Custom to get it together. I ended up selling that gun, and I bought a STI Edge. And before Atlas was Atlas that we know now, I sent that to Adam to have him work his magic on it. And he did a trigger job and a bunch of other stuff for me. And I competed with that until I bought the gun that I have now, which is an OG Titan. It's not, this is before the Nemesis, all that stuff was coming out. This is the OG Titan. This is back, I think, right after Adam decided to start putting the Phoenix Trinity Evo grips on that gun. And I've been running that gun ever since. That gun is super old. It's probably 5 or 6 years old. Probably has, man, it's got to have at least, I told Mike Pan this, and I'm not sure if that number was right after thinking about it. I told Mike Pan 250,000 rounds. It's probably more like 185-ish, 200-ish rounds, 200,000 rounds. But it's still going strong. I mean, I just replaced the disconnector in that gun. So I mean, that's how old and how worn this gun is. But it's still still shoots, still really, really tight. So keep using it till it breaks.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's nice that limited guns lasted you that long. Do you have a backup gun?
Yeah, I have that STI is my backup gun that I had. Whenever I bought that Titan, I think I sold a couple guns in order to get the funds for that. So I could keep the STI for my backup gun, just because it's really, really nice not carrying around a bucket of parts. It's just really nice to be like, oh, this broke on this gun. Let me swap out this, my backup gun, and put this on my, my actual gun, my competition gun. So it just makes life a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you put a metal grip on that STI Edge after a while?
No, that's still the plastic grip. I actually took I don't know where, it's in my safe, but I took a not a heat gun. What are those things called where you make the little things?
A soldering iron?
Yeah, soldering iron. And I put my own little cheesy checkering and stuff on it to give it some kind of grip whenever I hold it. But no, it doesn't have a metal grip on it.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty cool. Now, do you notice a major difference when you switch between your Titan and your Edge if you're checking something?
Yeah, look, I'm about ready to get that gun ready for nationals. I just put 1,000 rounds through it, checking zero and everything. And I haven't really messed around with spring weights in my Titan at all. I just got it from Atlas, and I just went with it. And I probably should, because shooting the STI, it does feel a little bit different, because it's, I don't know, a little bit softer, I guess. Yeah, that's probably on me. I've just been lazy and I've gone this long without swapping out springs or testing different spring weights. But yeah, no, I do notice a difference. But that Titan's been old faithful. Yeah, I will run that gun on the ground, I think.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet. Now, are you a red fiber or a green fiber guy?
Green. I find that green fiber shows up a lot on indoor matches. And right down the street, what helped me make GM was I'm very, very fortunate, and there's a range down the street that I jump through some hoops with, and I can train. I can draw out of a holster and run around and all that stuff at this range, and they have 2 indoor ranges, so I can train all year round. And what's even cooler is that because I've jumped through all those hoops and everything, I get priority over one of the ranges. So if there's if there's something going on, I haven't done this yet because I think it's kind of a jerk move, but I can be like, yo, Holmes, you got 15 minutes. I need to use this range. But that's been great for me. Like I said, that's what helped me get to GM, because if it's snowing outside and I couldn't get to work and my wife's not home, I'm just going to throw the gun in the car and drive. At that time, it was 5 minutes down the street, and I'm going to go shoot guns. So, but yeah, no. The long story short, to answer your question, that green fiber optic dot shooting indoors, I feel that I can pick that up a little bit easier than red fiber.
Okay, very interesting. I mean, I know some people like it differently, due to where their atmosphere is. Like if you're shooting in a very green area, the red's nice, or if you're in the desert, the green's nice. I don't know if you know anyone who shoots a yellow fiber.
No, I thought about a yellow fiber a long time ago, because I was like, oh, maybe that's kind of in the middle. I guess let's give that a whirl. And I got some, and I put it on my front sight, and I was like, I'm not really into that yellow fiber. But no, I haven't shot it like at a match or even just mess around. And I don't really know anybody off the top of my head that uses a yellow fiber. In fact, most of the people in our area, man, like I'm like limited to going away. Actually, everybody's shooting carry optics now, so I don't even know. I can think of maybe 4 or 5 people off the top of my head that are still shooting iron sights.
Yeah, it's very limited on who's still shooting irons. I mean,
Yeah.
they're the diehards, or they're really old, like Duda. Duda's really old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back whenever I started to get into limited, the carry optics wasn't around yet, and it was you either shot open, which those guns are crazy expensive, and there's like a 75% success rate on those will actually work, or you shot limited, which is what I got into, where you shot production. And I don't like counting. I like saying I'm gonna reload right here after I get done doing this, and that's probably my only reload of the stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely makes the entry level of learning the sport, it seems like a little bit easier, because you don't have to worry about counting to 10 or 11 and reloading a bunch of times.
Yeah, absolutely. But now everybody has dots in their guns, so they just just show up with a carry optics gun. They have 25 rounds in the gun ready to go.
Yeah, it's that, or they're showing up with some staccato.
Yeah. And those staccatos are pretty sweet. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those. But yeah, no, they either show up with like a staccato with like a leg rig ready to go with a crazy Terran Tactical 30-round magazine, something nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Just murder everybody with the not murder, but just, slaughter them. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I think I know this answer, but have you taken any formal training?
I have. So I've taken classes from Ben Stoger, Mason Lane. There's a couple local GMs back when I first started that did like a local class that I took, and I think that's it. I've been trying to get JJ. I talked to Christian about possibly come down to Pennsylvania this next year, but yeah, no, I have taken formal classes. That's something that I wish I would have done when I first started out. I saw YouTube and I was like, no, Max Michel's pretty good. I'll just watch a couple of his videos and I'll just figure out what to do based off of his videos. And I really wish I would have gotten formal training earlier on when I first started out, because I would have saved a lot of money and frustration later down the line and along the road.
Yeah, exactly. Now, would you, thinking back on it now, would you have gotten farther? Would you have gotten there farther faster by taking them sooner, or would it have inevitably been the same? Okay.
No, yeah, I'm a big proponent of Steve Anderson. There's been a lot of other people, like I said, Ben and Mason, all those guys. But the biggest guy that I learned from was Steve Anderson, and taking his classes and listening to his podcasts and how he breaks things down and everything. I think that's kind of how my mind works also. And if I would have taken his class or started listening to his podcast when I first started out, I would be a lot further along, I think, and saved a lot of money and a lot of frustration trying to figure out things that I could have listened to, instead of spending, countless hours at the range and countless ammo, trying to figure out something that he already talked about on a podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the free learning is out there, which is freaking fantastic, and it's why these young people, are doing so well right now. Like the people who get into the sport and they just like they're already masters or high A class, and they're like, where the hell did you come from?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your first match was last week.
I know. You're exactly right. And it's with the amount of either podcasts with people talking to high level shooters, or people like you know, we were just talking about him, Steve Anderson, Ben stuff, all that stuff. Like all that stuff wasn't around as far as like there wasn't a podcast. We didn't know what podcasts were when I first started shooting, or at least I didn't. So yeah, all the people that are coming up now are very, very fortunate.
Absolutely. And yeah, I can't agree with you more. Taking a class early is pretty freaking nice. Like I've taken 2 classes with Tim Heron, great dude, great instructor, but and you can just see where these instructors really care about your skill level and where you're going to go and progressing you to the next level and just finding those nuggets for you. It's just awesome. But
yeah, you're exactly right. I think training is definitely helpful if you want to, you know, definitely motor along faster.
But I will say there is, I think, a diminishing return on training to a point. Like it doesn't help you to go take a class this month and then go take another class the next month and another class the next month, because then you really don't have time to go practice in between them and actually develop the skills that you bring in.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So it's like I try and take one class a year, and I'll take that one class and I'll go and I'll write down notes of like, okay, this is what I learned, this is what I desperately need help with, and I'll hammer that specific thing home, to make sure that becomes second nature. So yeah, no, I definitely agree. If you're taking like 3 or 4 classes, you know, you're taking the JJ's class this year or this month, and 2 months you're taking Ben's class, and next month you're taking Tim Heron's class. It's just, yeah, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Now, after winning Area 8, what are your what's your training plan from now till nationals?
So my training plan's already kind of crazy. So like I said, I took Ben's class, and I finally figured out that I haven't been target focused. I've been in between, and whenever that light bulb finally went off, I was like, man, this is kind of a little bit embarrassed, a little bit, because I've been around for so long, and I'm just now figuring out, like, no, you haven't been target focused. So ever since Ben's class, about a month and a half, I've been doing 3 days. I've been waking up early, spending about 20-25 minutes dry fire, and then whenever I come home from work, usually my daughter's sleeping. She's 7 months, so usually she's sleeping. So I'll try to get another 20 minutes in, and then afterwards, after dinner, I'll try to get another 30-45 minutes in. And I've been hitting target focus and just eyes lead gun follows leading up to Area 8. And now that Area 8's done, my goal is to finish at least top 10 in nationals this year. So it's just figuring out, like, okay, if you want to make top 10, which is great, what's the process and how that has to happen? So you have to outwork everybody else, because everybody else is trying to do their best, right? So you need to outwork everybody else. So I've been trying to at least do 2 a days. That's been my goal. And I try and do 7 days a week, 2 a days. And if I can do 3 days, that's obviously going to help me mentally with my mental game, whenever any doubt comes in, that I've overachieved training, getting ready for nationals, which is helps silence those little voices in your head that are questioning if you can do this, and if you really have what it takes to be top 10.
Absolutely. And I bet going in and beating all of those high level GMs at Area 8 was definitely a good self-image confident boost.
Yeah, I mean, that was really good. I mean, I'm not taking away anything from Travis or Shane or John or anybody like that, but that was a serious confidence boost. I mean, that was, other than like family stuff, that's probably like that euphoric feeling was pretty awesome. So just trying to chase that and keeping that up and going for my last major of the year.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, it's got to be a nice ride high,
Yeah.
And it looks like it was a fairly close race. If I'm looking at, results correctly, looks like it was a fairly close match for all of you.
Yeah, I mean, that was a hard match. Arloni is a range that I go to a lot for club matches. Their major matches they can be very hard. They can be, I mean, it all depends on, on what they want to do, but their major matches, if they want to make them hard, it's going to be hard. But just like I said, I'm a big proponent of Steve Anderson and that mental game that he talks about, and just being focused on one thing. Like if you bomb a stage, which can happen and probably will happen maybe, but you have to let that go. Like you can't be fixated on that. Let it go. You have another stage. And that win at Area 8. I've won a lot of major matches, that win at Area 8 was the top 3 achievement that I've done in USPSA. That was really, really good match.
Absolutely. Now, would you say that match was too hard, or is it just hard enough?
So the hardest match I've ever shot was a Chris Tilley club match. That match, I've never shot a match that's been that hard. Audalani with that match, there's a lot of there was a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but there were 2 or 3 out of the 13 stages that were kind of gimmicky with the bounce beam and the wobbly bridge stuff. So like that one, that was you're kind of at the whim of who can do it the safest, I guess, because no one can really practice like a wobbly bridge or a 50-foot bounce beam. You know what I mean? So other than that, the whole shooting challenge, it was pretty hard. There was a lot of partial swingers. There were definitely some stages where you could really hit the gas pedal and be very aggressive, but there's one stage where they had like a double pendulum swinger, and they're on turtle targets, which makes it even harder. And it was probably 15 yards away. Like that stage, that was the stage where I crushed that stage, and I was like, holy shit, like something cool might happen, because there's no one that beat me on that stage and limited. I came in 7th over the whole match in that stage, and it started out with like 35-yard mini poppers, and I went 1 for 1, and then moving over to the next position, it was all partials that were not easy at all. And then, just like I said, the ending was on a pendulum double swinger with a no shoot in the middle, and that was eating everybody's lunch.
Yeah, that does sound like a difficult stage, especially for iron sights at 35-yard mini poppers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the best at all by any means, but whenever I go shoot live fire, like I try live fire at least twice a week, and the one bay that I shoot in, it's probably 45 yards long, and I'll take a mini popper all the time, and I'll throw that mini popper as far out as possible. And no matter what I'm doing, I'll always try to go to that mini popper, just because I know, I mean, even shooting at nationals, they have some serious targets over at nationals. So it's just always training. What do my sights have to look like on a crazy, stupid popper that's really, really far away? So I'm not saying that all that to say, I felt I was pretty prepared to shoot those crazy poppers at that distance.
Right. Yeah. Make your practice more difficult than the match, and the match will seem like it's easy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, you said you shoot Antalani, but where else do you shoot for your local matches?
So this is the first year. So I had my first child in February, and that's kind of put I guess I've had to be more I guess bring a calendar into play and be like, all right, this is what I'm going to be doing this day, this day, this day. And I'm also teaching a whole lot more in my private classes, so I haven't been able to shoot a whole lot. But before this, I was shooting a really high level match at every week. Like for Area 8 where I'm at, there's always a high level match every weekend. Whether that's the first week of the month is Lower Providence, where I train at. The next weekend is New Holland, which is where I mostly help out at. The next weekend is West Shore and York. I might be mixing that up with Audalani. I don't know, but so it's about like an hour and a half away every weekend to make it to like a really, really high quality club match.
Yeah, because what Hempel says that, Galnet says that, there's always something to go pick out. You can, like, if there's nothing going on at home, you're driving to a match.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. There's, I mean, and those guys, I mean, we all shoot together a lot. But yeah, if you can ever make it to an Audalani club match, they run their club matches like a level 2. It's always like a level 2 with their stage designs and their quality of stages. It's always a level 2 match, and they run a 2-day format with like 10 stages. Dude, that match, I haven't been up to like New York or anything up like that of crazy. I haven't been down south past like Chris Tilley's range for a club match, but I would say that Audalani club match is the highest level club match on the East Coast, 100%.
And it runs on 2 days, like they run 2 flights, so it's like a Saturday Sunday match.
Yeah, it's a Saturday Sunday match. What I think is, I mean, that really small attention to detail, which makes it really, really cool, is that they always swap out targets like it would be at a major. So if you're shooting, right, and you're shooting 10 stages, they'll be like, hey, when you get to your 5th stage, swap out targets. So it's, I don't know, it's just like that small little detail just makes it more of like, okay, this is a pretty awesome match, because if I have a headshot at 5 yards and everybody's been pasting it up, because there's been 100 shooters putting holes in it, it just kind of makes it more of a pain to kind of score. But it's just, yeah, they're club match. If you can ever shoot one of their club matches, it's the best club match in the East Coast, 100%.
Oh yeah, and from what I hear, it's hard to get into a match in that area. You got to be on practice score at 7:59.
Yep. Yep, and that's, I mean, the last couple of years have been crazy just because everybody's in the same boat with the ammo and the primers and stuff. But whenever times were all good, yeah, it was like that, not just for Artelani, but this whole area, where if practice score says it opens at 8 o'clock and it's 8:03, you're not getting in. And I mean, you can get waitlisted, and unless you know somebody, you're not getting in. So it's very, very popular for all the matches.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good problem to have. I mean,
yeah,
that just means you're getting a lot of good shooters and a lot of people, the club's making money at that point.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, I haven't been to other area matches, but I think Area 8 shooters are up there as far as the skill set, you know what I mean, compared to other areas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's freaking fantastic. Like, Matt Hempel, it was unfortunate. I don't think he went to nationals this year, but
I did shot with him. I did shot with him last week. I was giving him crap about it because that dude's on a different level, man. Like me and Matt shoot a lot together. I think next year we've been talking about doing hosting some classes together, so we can start teaching some classes together. But no, Matt Hempel kind of came on the scene and just exploded. That dude is very, very fast. I mean, he has to be at least top 5 carry optics nationally. The guy's very, very good, and it sucks he couldn't go, because I really love to see how that would have turned out for him. He's very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait, so is he going to teach classes about shooting ducks? Because that's really what's important, right?
Man, it just sucks because he's also in New Jersey, and I give him shit all the time for it because everybody knows how crazy New Jersey is, and it's like, dude, you need to move to Pennsylvania, because I'm big into deer hunting, and I'm like, dude, we can go deer hunting like right outside my house. Like I can literally go outside and shoot a deer right now. And he's like, oh, well, you can come over to my house. We can go duck hunting. Well, it's like, well, the whole thing is that you live in New Jersey, and like an out-of-state license is like $1 million, and your state sucks. You need to get out of the state and move to Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but him and those dogs have the best time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I have a blue tip coonhound, and like, man, like we keep talking. It's like, dude, we need to get our dogs together to go like either shoot some ducks or do a couple of deer drives somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even if I got reincarnated, I would want to be Matt Hempel's dog.
Yeah,
like you get treated so well.
Yeah, no, Matt's a really good dude. Matt's actually the one guy that I was telling you about that we went up to. We shot randomly the Western PA sectional, and it was totally random. I was mowing my grass, and my wife was going out of town, and I was like, I need to shoot a match this week because I don't, this opportunity doesn't come out as much now because we have a child now and everything. So I'm thinking like, all right, well, I don't think there's any locals around. I was like, dude, there's Western PA sectional. I'm like, who can I get that could just drop what they're doing right now, hop in a car, and just go? And everybody that I'm friends with, they all have families and stuff like that. I'm like, Matt doesn't have a family, and so I call up Matt. I'm like, dude, let's go. He's like, yeah, let's go. I think that we pulled into to our hotel at like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and woke up and shot the match, and then we turned around and went home. That was a crazy trip. But yeah, Matt's all I have to say, Matt's a really, really good dude and a really, really good shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you get to give Russell shit because Russell was there too.
Yeah. Russ is a trip, man. You can always count on getting hydrated if you see Russ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he'll make sure you're drinking the finest sparkling water.
The finest. You can pull a Steve Anderson's the finest water drinking that you can hydrate your body with.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what was I doing. I made a YouTube video and I ripped off Steve Anderson's intro, and it was hilarious because it was. Yeah. I think I did it from memory too, but it was always fun. Sorry guys for stopping this awesome interview with Mr. Nick Reynolds from Area 8. I just had to stop it in the middle here, and we got to share some awesome information about the show. Right now we're going to be awesomely showing some love to Chile Custom Gunworks because they make the finest 2011 accessories that you want for your Prodigy, your Staccato, your next open build, your limited gun. So next time, tell your builder I want Chile Custom Gunworks parts. So it's okay, Matt. We've talked with Matt. We're gonna show them some love here from now on. So don't forget to check out Chile Custom Gunworks. But I can't also forget to the newest sponsor, one of the best sponsors out there is Eric Steiner and Gianni from Range Panda, rangepanda.com, guys. So go check them out. Go and get yourself some awesome 3D printed range gear with your press, so you can be all fancy and make everyone feel inefficient because your press is that much better because it has Range Panda on it. So show them some love. Eric's a good dude. So is Johnny. They're both top level shooters, and they put back into the sport and they appreciate it. So go tell them Manny sent you, and you never know, there might be something cool in your box. I don't know. Can't promise. Anyway, so don't forget, guys, dominatedefense.com. Use Manny Talks 10 to get 10% off the Mach 1 speed belt combo. And yes, I've had to check the website. And yes, it is only for the Mach 1 speed belt combo. So save yourself some money. You can't use that code for just the outer belt or inner belt. It's got to be the combo, unfortunately. But hey, it's because you want it, and it's the best and it's the finest. So go get it. Divtechshop.com. Nathan over there is awesome, and we're going to use the code Manny Talks Shooting for 10% off because I finally looked it up in my email. So, hey, 10% off divtechshop.com. Get yourself one of the best affordable and best quality magnet around for your competition needs. So, guys, yep, don't forget to check out all the sponsors. As you noticed in this episode, brand new to the show is the fact that you will see every sponsor of the show and their website on the screen on the video format. You will see it all show long because it's me and I want to do it, and it helps show some love to the sponsors, just not in the beginning, not in the middle, not in the end, the whole way through. So besides me rambling through this awesome commercial break, so go check out Hunter's HD Gold, Go Fast Don't Suck, Dominate Defense, DivTech Magnets. You need to go check out Targets USA, rangepanda.com, Chile Custom Gunworks, and Tim Heron Shooting. Don't forget to support the guys who bring you up in the sport too. So Tim, I appreciate you, brother. But anyway, guys, we're going to end this commercial awesome break, and we're going to get back to this conversation with Mr. Nick Reynolds. So you said you actually teach classes. I didn't actually know this. So what kind of classes do you end up teaching?
So I started out teaching classes. This is my second year or third year, but it's just one-on-one classes. And this next year I want to start growing that. And like I said, I've been talking with Matt Hempel about it, about us doing something. But yeah, no, I teach new shooter classes, and it's basically all the things that I wish I would have learned that I got to this point. I teach other people, and it's just the basics, man. Like, it's just all the basic stuff that took me so long, so much frustration, so much time and money into learning, and it's just so simple. Once you see it, like the light bulb goes off, it's like, oh, this all makes sense now. And shooting USPSA is like a million times more fun because like just the basic stuff, like shot calling and target focus and all that stuff like that makes it way more fun. So but yeah, no, I've been having a really good time with it. I've been fortunate, and they've been kind of taking off. I've been doing about 2 or 3 each month, starting back in like maybe March or something. This year has been a lot more crazier than it was last year.
Mm-hmm. So do you get like cold called like from random people, or is it people who are going to matches and stuff?
No, I mean, most of the stuff it's people that are going to matches. After winning Area 8, it's been crazy ever since winning Area 8. People have just been, I guess, word of mouth. I've been kind of promoting it on Instagram and Facebook, but like, I don't want to be that guy where like I show up with a jersey and I'm putting out like, hey, just a reminder every other weekend. Just, hey, I have an opening, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I've only like done it maybe 2 or 3 times on Facebook and Instagram, or it's been like I put out like a little flyer or whatever. And it's just been word of mouth, which has been great. But yeah, it's just been word of mouth. People have been getting a hold of me on Instagram and Facebook. I think I've had a couple people came up to me at matches, and we've exchanged information and all that stuff. But yeah, next year, just like I said, I want to take that up to the next level and start doing like group classes and stuff like that. So it should be fun, man.
Well, that should be fun. This kind of segues into a listener question. So why the neon yellow shirts?
Man, I've been trying so hard to get sponsored, and it's almost like maybe I'm not doing something right, or I don't know, maybe I'm not doing something right. So this year, actually the last couple years I've been like, all right, because I don't have a jersey, right? I want to do like I want to have one shirt that's my shooting shirt. And if you go back in my YouTube videos and my Instagram stuff, it started out with like me just wearing a plain Jane white shirt because I'm like, hey, it's a million degrees outside every time we shoot matches. Why are all the jerseys black and shirts are dark colors that soaks in the sun? So I just went to Target and I bought a ton of yellow or white T-shirts. Then after that, I got a really nice Under Armour shirt. That was last year. That was my blue one. So if you look back, you see like all my shirts are all the same color. And then this year it's been that neon green shirt because it's just been like, hey, well, if I'm not going to get sponsored, I'm just going to pick something that's kind of quasi ridiculous and I guess stands out. Maybe that'll help me. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. So Duda, you're gonna have to make Nick a jersey that's flamboyantly ridiculous.
Yes.
That only he would wear.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Now, dude is actually hooking me up for this is actually my first jersey is going to be at Nationals this year because dude is hooking me up with 3 jerseys to wear this year. So this is my first time I'll have my name on my shirt. And if you're listening, the guy's name is Dave Black. He's the guy at the match director over at West Shore. And every time that I shoot his match, he's just like, thank you for holding strong with the plain shirt gang instead of all the guys that are showing up with jerseys and all that stuff. Like I made the super squad last year at Nationals. He's like, I'm so proud of you. Not that you made the limited super squad, but you're holding it down. You're the only one in that squad without a name on the jersey. You're just showing up with just like a random T-shirt ready to shoot guns. I love it. Yeah. So sorry, Dave. This is the last year that's going to happen. So I've been holding the strong down for you.
Yeah, you and another limited shooter, Joey Zadek. He's out of Indiana. You both have that really bright shirt, and it's like I can't stand. It's like it's so bright.
That's right. Now that shirt's awesome. It's like you're not wearing anything. It's just like I said. It's hot as it's freaking hot whenever we play this game. So I'm not trying to wear a jersey that weighs 4 pounds and solid black and soaking up all the sun.
I mean, you could go shirtless. I mean,
that's true. That's true. Mike McKern's tried to get me to go shirtless one time, and we had a bet going on, and we didn't end up going through with it. But whoever lost would have to wear a sports bra whenever you shot the next match. So
do they make
that? Might be. I mean, maybe Duda can get some go fast, don't suck sports bras.
Duda, you got to do it now. It's on the internet.
Yeah.
So there's one. So I guess we'll talk about the listener questions now because we kind of segued into that zone. So I don't know if this person was serious or not, or they're just being joking. But who is the best shooter in your area?
No, that was Hempel. Maybe I think that was Hempel.
No, yeah, you're right.
You're right. Our area, man. That's kind of, so our area. It's mostly just open carry optics, and then like I said, limited's kind of going away. But production, I can't really think of anybody who still shoots production. Like I know, like Bo Zhang still shoots production, but it's just going away because carry optics is just killing it. But as far as open in our area, based off the match wins, Chris Galnett's killing it. I mean, Dave Wampler's still there. Kevin Gorsby's, those 3 guys kind of trade off. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As far as the open guys. Carry optics. If Jeff Emmerich still shot guns, that was really cool to see Jeff and Matt Hempel go back and forth. Jeff is he's just a natural athlete. That dude's story is pretty nuts. But
did he go back to golf?
Dude, so that guy, Jeff, let me just talk about Jeff for a second. That dude was on the U.S. Junior Olympic team for volleyball. Then he went to college for baseball. He was about to get drafted for a pitcher, ended up getting Tommy John surgery, so he quit that and picked up like semi-pro golf and like golf on like the PGA Tour and stuff. Like that dude's story is just insane. So now Jeff kind of I don't know, he just got married, so I guess he took this year off. So but seeing him like that dude, he's one of those people that just makes you sick because he just picked up the gun and just how do you learn all this stuff? It took me like 4 years. You picked up the gun in 3 months and now you're like able to kick everybody's ass. But now Matt Hempel is definitely the best carry optic shooter, 100%. That dude. That dude probably would have placed top 5 at Nationals this year, for sure. That dude's he's stupid good. And me and him shoot a lot. We always squad together, and he's very fun to watch because his draw is insane, and it's just, like everything he does is just crazy fast.
Right. The only thing I could see that's wrong with Temple is he needs like 5 guns to go to the match.
I know, dude. He almost beat Nils at Area 8 last year, but like, dude, his CZs kept breaking. He went like 3 or 4 CZs at last year's Area 8, and dude, he was seriously in the run to beat Nils, which would have been a crazy accomplishment because that dude's an animal. But yeah, he just had gun problems. I don't think he's had that many gun problems this year, but yeah, that was very unfortunate last year.
Yeah. So that's funny because Jeff did actually put in a question. Is your favorite shooter Jeff Emrich? If not, why?
Well, see, shooter means that you're shooting currently, and dude, all right. So this is how much of a beast Jeff is, right? So Jeff has probably shot like 2 or 3 matches this entire year, right? So I don't remember the last club match before Area 8 that he shot in. So Jeff was going to shoot Area 8, or he did shoot Area 8, came in like 5th place and hasn't touched his gun in like 4 or 5 months. The dude just woke up one day and was like, oh, I think today is Area 8, so I'm going to hold my beer. I'm going to go make some ammo real quick, and I need to be at Arlani by like 5. You know what I mean? And like the dude, so I was talking with Jeff, right? So Jeff didn't even show up early to walk stages. Jeff was like, hey, man, I need you to help me out. I need you to show me all the stage plans. And he showed up like 30 minutes before the match started, and he came in like 5th place. I don't know how that happens. And like everybody, I mean, at Area 8, that Terry Optics field was stacked. But it's just, man, it's like that dude's a beast. So shooter, if he was still shooting, it would be a tie between Jeff and Matt for sure.
Yeah, that would be. It was nice last year to see them duke it out. It was quite nice to see that over the internet. It was quite fun.
Yeah.
So I guess we did answer Galnet's question about when you're going to get sponsored eventually.
I hope so. Like I said, I'm gonna get something together and contact some gun manufacturers. I don't really want to go outside of limited. I'm kind of financially invested in limited, but now I'm gonna try and get something together and try it again and see what happens. So hopefully we can get something together because that'd be really, really cool.
True. So Rob, I know you're watching, or you should be. If not, I'll make sure you do.
Yeah.
Talk to Atlas. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Somebody, pick somebody.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yep. I mean, you could be shooting a para. Wait, they don't even make those anymore.
I mean, yeah, I think because I think para did para turn into Masterpiece Arms?
No, para became Remington, and then Remington went bankrupt. So I don't.
Right, yeah, because Travis was on that team. I think he shot a para last year, maybe. No, I think it was Masterpiece Arms last year.
They just got his Masterpiece Arms gun last. Yeah, it was either the year before or like really beginning of 21.
Yeah.
So I guess so if you could, we already did that one. All right. So how has your training plan changed from like say A class making to master, from then master to GM?
So I'd say focusing on the fundamentals. That's been the key, and even teaching classes and stuff, that's just put more emphasis on me personally of how important the fundamentals are. Your grip, trigger control, eyes lead, gun follows, like all those sexy drills and stuff that people put on Instagram and stuff. They're all really, really cool, but I'm really big on the process and figuring out what works. And those drills that people are putting out on Instagram and stuff like that, they all look really, really cool, but if you don't have a base foundation of the fundamentals, you're gonna probably drive yourself insane because you don't know what's going on. You can't self-diagnose. So I'd say, I guess, getting up to be a grandmaster, focusing on the fundamentals, and then I kind of was like lost. I guess I didn't really know what to do or what to practice or how to practice, or I was kind of lost and kind of just knew I should dry fire, but I didn't really know what to do. So I just did a whole bunch of draws and reloads and stuff. And then I started taking classes, and that kind of brought structure. And I got a couple books also, and that brought structure to how I would train. And then everybody takes match video, whenever they go to shoot club matches. And I guess it's seeing in your club matches what feels weird, and if it feels weird, you should probably work on it because it's probably going to show up again at the next match or the next major match or whatever. So figuring out what feels weird, and then making that a point to dry fire and really hammer home, so that it doesn't feel weird anymore. So that becomes second nature, and that's really how you start growing and becoming a better shooter. I'm big on the process, big on self-diagnosis, and being honest with yourself, and paying attention to the fundamentals is very, very key. So
Right.
I think learning that and growing up learning that, and still, I mean, everybody's still a student of how to shoot the gun better, but still paying attention to that stuff is very, very important.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, what would you say is the biggest fundamental that you need to keep coming back to, or need do you always are thinking about?
So it's two for me.
Hmm.
Not, I don't think one's more important than the other, because you can't have one without the other.
Right.
Number one is grip, and then another one is eyes lead, gun follows. Your eyes lead, gun follows. Like that right there is going to help drive your transition time down. Your grip, I'm a big believer in that. If you put your handgun down for a couple weeks or whatever, and you got to go pick it back up, the first diminishable skill is going to be your grip. And I always tell people to death grip it, grip the gun like you're trying to break it, and watch what your front sight or your dot's doing. And it's not comfortable to dry fire like that, because it's not comfortable. You're putting energy out to grip the gun hard. It's not comfortable, so you kind of relax subconsciously into a more comfortable grip, and that doesn't help you at all in the long run. So yeah, grip is very, very important, and so is eyes lead, gun follows to help your transition times.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of people might have those spicy splits, but their transitions might suck relatively, and that's where they're losing a bunch of time.
Yeah, or they have crazy fast transitions and their grip is garbage, and they have an alpha, and God knows where the other one went.
Yeah, or they're at, oh, it's like that's definitely a double, 30-yard double,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That whole age old argument, it's never going to go away.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, yeah, it's you're never gonna win on that one. But it's like, excuse me, damn. But yeah, so for the most part, it's like, yeah, you those 30-yard, you're gonna get those doubles on those 30-yard swingers, right? At
Yeah,
nationals.
no, seriously.
Yep, on the move, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
even more fun, right?
on the move head box.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Although I will say, like, I agree. Grip is super important. I know how diminishable that is. Like, even me, like right now, I've got like one of these grip things. I mean,
Yeah,
I wish I was cool as Logan Saunders and just be able to do a level 2 captain's a crush, but
yeah,
I'm too
yeah. That
wuss.
dude's jacked. That dude's jacked. I think he's a DEA agent. He's like a certified badass.
Hmm. Yep. Who's a dog lover? Because dogs are important.
Yeah,
I mean, if
yeah.
you
No, man. Grip is very, very important. Very important. I hit grip every single time whenever I start and end dry fire. I make sure to do a grip dry fire exercise. That's very, very important.
Mhm. But yeah, I love grip, and that's definitely, I agree with you. That's the diminishable skill. Like you can know how to rip on the trigger, you know how to put the sights where you need them to go, but like grip, if you, like that, my last local match, the whole mental emphasis was grip, because
Yeah,
like giving up, like good at having good sight pictures, yet then pulling the trigger and like you're like, oh, that was too alpha, no, and then you got like a delta or a really far
yeah,
Charlie. It's like, no, this is not right.
yeah,
And then, but points definitely increase with good grip. I will tell
yeah.
you
I
that
mean,
now.
and I think that I got this from Mason or Ben a long, long time ago, but it's just a really simple grip exercise. I get my timer, I put it on 2.5 seconds for my par time, right? And I get the gun, I point it at a blank wall, and I'll pay attention to what the sights are doing or pay attention to what the dot's doing. And whenever that timer goes off, I'm slapping the trigger as hard as possible, right? I'm forcing the gun to move, and I'm watching what it's doing. And if you're a right-handed guy, more than likely it's going to go low left. All right, grip it harder, and then watch what happens. Still set my part time so I can get 2 beeps out of one press, right? The next time that you do that, if you increase grip pressure and watch what your sights are doing, the gun's probably going to move a lot less.
Mhm.
Perfect. Grip it harder. And like keep on doing that to be like, okay, this is how hard I need to grip the gun to make sure that my sights either move very, very little compared to my previous times, or they don't move at all. And that's that's something that I do, like I said, at the beginning and end of every dry fire session, because it's so important. Grip is so important.
Oh yeah, absolutely, super important. Like I, th- I think that was my biggest fundamental, that when I finally figured out how to grip it right for me, it made, not, there's always these people who are talking about doing a horseshoe, like Mike Siegler talks about this horseshoe pressure, right? Of like trying to
Yeah.
break the horseshoe, which never correlated for me. But yeah, like grip the crap out of the support hand and you're okay. It seems like that's a good answer.
Yeah, I mean, with the people that take classes from me, that's the first exercise that I do, and I just tell them just to grip the shit out of the handgun. I mean, I've heard the same thing. Like, grip it like you're gripping a hammer or you're shaking someone's hand. That's dumb. Grip it hard. Grip it hard. And just like I said, like I'm very big on if I take a class and something doesn't resonate, or I'm calling like that doesn't really make any sense. Like, I'll say, hey, can you demonstrate that? So, because I'm not saying that you're lying, but I don't really believe that. And doing that grip exercise, do that, and that will 100% show you that if I grip the shit out of the handgun, the gun is going to move very, very little.
Absolutely. And do you feel, this is kind of an instructor question slash a GM level kind of question, do you think that someone who's deciding to be an instructor must demo?
I know for me, in the way that I learn, yeah, I do. I think that there's a lot of people who are doing classes that shouldn't be doing classes, if that makes any sense. Not because of they have bad intent, but I know for me personally, if someone says, hey, I want you to come take my class, okay, give me your resume. Because if I'm on the same level, or I'm better than, or if I'm on the same level or I'm better than you, why am I taking a class from you? And that people might say, like, okay, well, that's, if you look at a football coach may not have played football, but he can coach the hell out of a football team, right? But that coach has pedigree. Like, the coach just didn't wake up one day and be like, hey, I'm gonna go coach football. Like, it didn't happen. He worked his way up, right? So I know, going back to your question, I there's a lot of people, I think, that are teaching classes that shouldn't be. And I think that for the way that I learn, if I can see you do it, I learn better that way. So like the last class that I took, it was Ben's class. And there was some stuff, I think he pretty much demoed everything. But like, it's one thing for me to see it and hear you talk about it or even read about it. But if I see you do it, I learn a whole lot better that way. So I don't know, just for me, I'd say yes. I know that Steve Anderson doesn't really do a whole bunch of demo. He does mostly just coaching through you shooting. But I'm like I said, the way that I learn is by somebody demoing it.
Right. Absolutely. Now, how do you expect, because everyone takes match video, right? Everyone takes that match. How do we keep people to be more analytical than subjective, in their match video, and be honest with themselves about like what they need to work on?
I think that's the biggest thing right there, is being honest. So I've been getting a whole lot of messages, and even some of the people that have taken classes from me, they're like, I don't know how to practice, right? So how do I dry fire, or what do I pick to dry fire on? And I put out a video of a match that I shot this past weekend, where it was a retreat stage. And I felt that could be, now there was obviously a lot of low hanging fruit. Everybody can improve, right? And this is just the one thing that I focused on for my dry fire for this week, is my reloads weren't as explosive as they could be. Now, going back to it, you have to be very honest with yourself, and you can't look at it and say, nah, everything was great. That was awesome. Everyone should learn, everyone should do it the way that I did it. And if you came in fifth on the stage, obviously there's other people that are doing a lot better than you. So you have to be very, very open and honest with yourself. But I was like, man, these reloads can be a whole lot more explosive, because whenever I see people like Mason, for example, his reloads, you don't even know that he even reloaded the gun. He just does it so fast. And it's one thing if you stand and shoot a classifier and you throw a sub-second reload in, like, that looks really cool. But it's one thing to do that and then doing it while you're moving. And I've been hammering home based off of my match video. I looked at my match video on that stage, and I was like, man, of all the things on this stage, that reload, you can save some serious time if you hammer that reload in and did it in, I don't know, let's just say 4 seconds. And if you hammer that down into 2.5 seconds, that's some serious time that you can be making up if you just learn how to get your body to move that fast. But yeah, no, I think a lot of people take match video for Instagram stuff, which I do too. But if you like, that's some serious gains that you can be making if you dissect that match video and figure out what was uncomfortable and making it to where it's comfortable in your dry fire.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Like, and what I kind of like about, there's some different ways to take a match video. I personally like the way I do it. Chris and I do it. We throw the camera up in the air and we wave it like we just don't care.
Yeah.
Just, one, I love it because I don't have to ask anybody. Can you record this?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Luckily, if you squad with some of your buddies, it's not as bad. But if you're shooting a match out of town and like you don't really know anybody, it's kind of weird. Of like, hey, can you make sure to hold it this way? Don't hold it like this. You know what I mean? Like, get all crazy with it and everything. So it's I totally get what you're talking about.
Well, but then now there's people who do want it this way, which is really weird. I mean, the Instagram people of the world, right? Like, I was like, I want it this way. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Jay Beal.
Yeah, Jay Beal, get it together.
Yep. I mean, he slaughtered too. I think he came in 7th at nationals.
Yeah. I mean, and then that my buddy Jeff Hughes shot nationals, and dude, that carry optics is crazy stacked. I think there was almost 500 competitors, and they could have probably gotten more if they would have had more. But dude, I think it was like the guy. There's one guy that came in top 10. He was A class or whatever. But other than that guy, the next A class shooter was so far down on that list. It's just stacked with masters and grandmasters. That is a seriously competitive division. Matt Hempel, why did you not go to nationals? But it's that's a really, really stacked division. Very stacked division.
Because he had to work on his deadbeat truck.
Yeah, no, he got the short end of the stick. I don't know if you heard that story, but he was on a side-by-side and someone rolled it and he messed himself up pretty good.
That's sad. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah. But yeah, that it'll be nice because next year, Carry Optics Nationals is even limited nationals is even closer for you. It's only like in Ohio.
Is it going to be in Ohio next year?
Yep, it's going to be at a facility called Cardinal Shooting Center.
Okay.
So you'll it's a little far of a drive for you.
Yeah, actually, that might not be a plane ticket now. That actually might be a car ride because I mean, there's a lot of people in this area that shoot nationals. So I guess catching a car ride save a couple bucks, I guess. But I hate road trips so much. I hate them.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I'm okay in the car, but I can't be alone in the car because I'll fall asleep driving at the wheel.
Yeah, 100%. That's when you get some sunflower seeds and you just open up all the windows.
Oh my, that too. Or it's always talking to somebody on the phone. So I've always got like little earbuds in and be like, so what are y'all doing? Like, I'm just driving. I don't care. We're going to be on the phone for 3 hours until the next person can pick up the phone.
Get comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, I've had some good friends because when I worked third shift a long time ago, like getting home in the morning was always the roughest.
Yeah. Yep.
Just make it home. I was not a third shift person, but I got lucky. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a special breed of people. I did third shift also, and those are a special breed of people that can work that shift.
Absolutely. Now, Nick, what are some we've talked about little things, but what is something that current you would like to tell past you about shooting?
Calling your shots. If I could learn how to call my shots, man, I would be so much better off. And I tell all the people that take classes from me, because they're all mostly new shooters, it's like, man, the biggest thing is calling your shots. Like, yeah, it's really cool and sexy to have a really fast draw or getting from point A to point B faster. But dude, if you do that and you throw a mic or you throw really crappy points, was it worth it? You know what I mean? Like that's the foundation of everything is calling your shots. And just, if I could go back and just teach myself what to look at, like reading your sights and what your sights are telling you, calling my shots, that would have saved so much money and frustration of figuring that out. Because I went a good couple of years with just, Max Michelle doesn't see a second shot because he's shooting so fast, or so-and-so that can't see their second shot because there's no way. Well, they are. They just know what they're looking at, and they know what to see and how to read it. So yeah, just calling your shots is definitely key.
Right. Now, do you subscribe to the Anderson way of putting the shot up target on the front and a virgin target on the back?
Yes, because I don't train like that anymore. Because I'm number one, it's time, and number two, I know that I'm honest with myself and going back to what I see. If I call an Alpha Charlie and it's Alpha Charlie up at the top and the Charlie's way down low, it's like, oh shit, okay, what the hell did I see there to call that? So I'm very honest with myself now. But whenever I teach classes, I do that to train people. Like I wish that I would have done, to call your shots, because you can't see where the holes are. Now you have to replay that mental image of what you saw and getting your subconscious to get at that level to where if it's not an alpha or a close Charlie, you shoot it again. But yeah, no, that's a seriously good way to train. And even getting shot up targets is pretty easy, man. If you go to one of your local matches and after teardown they have a whole bunch of targets, you just take those and just take all the pacers off. It's really not that hard, and it's really not that it's just cheaper. So but yeah, no, calling your shots is definitely something that I would have gone back to go do.
Absolutely. Now, yeah, calling your shots is huge, but like say we're on a stage for like a limited stage, what you can hold what? If you Barney was 21 rounds or 20?
22.
Okay.
So I have one mag that I can get 21 in plus one on the gun.
Okay. So if you say you had a 22 round stage, are you going to play conservative? Well, I guess it depends. If there's not a really like say it's super tight on the positions, right? And there's no chance to really do a reload, or where it'd warrant doing a reload for every purpose, right? Do you play conservative and just shoot all those alphas, or do you kind of risk it and go a little fast?
No, I'm probably going to go a little bit conservative because there's so much disaster. And actually, at our last club match that I shot last weekend, it was that same scenario. It was 22 rounds. There was two tuxedos about 8-9 yards away, and then there were two pieces of steel. So there was no place to do a reload, and it was extremely fast. And no, I decided to go for it, and I had to pick up on steel. And I knew that I was going to run dry, and it was just take the mic because it's going to be a whole lot. It's going to be less to make it up with a standing reload somewhere to shoot again. But that's kind of very rare. I guess at nationals, there was one stage at the Florida Nationals I remember that I think it was 19 or 20 rounds, and I did a reload. But usually 18 rounds on a stage, that's kind of whenever I'm like, okay, we really need to start thinking about how we're going to attack this, because 18 rounds is kind of where I get a little bit not nervous, but kind of like where I'm like, okay, you really need to start thinking about doing this as your game plan.
Yeah, I mean, even at like Carry Optics Nationals this year, there was a lot of 24 round stages, right? So
yeah,
but probably most of them still had the space or the time warranted to do the reload because it was designed that way.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good test of skill. If you can make a stage to where it's so close to where it's like, damn it, if I do a reload, there's like a serious gain because I can go a whole lot faster and really put the pedal to the metal and hammer these targets, or I can play it quasi safe and still call my shots. But is that going to be faster because I'm not slowing down? You're never slowing down, but you're just seeing more on targets to where you don't have to go to a slide lock reload. Those are some pretty cool stages sometimes.
Yeah. Your limited gun doesn't slide lock, does it?
No. And honestly, dude, I don't really know why that's a big deal, because even now, so I rarely do this now, to where I whenever the gun goes empty and you're shooting limited or you're shooting carry optics, you should know that like you're gonna go dry, right? But I don't know why. I feel that if my limited gun did go to slide lock, that's more of a ding 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 ding, something's wrong. And instead of you going empty and then click, and now you realize, oh shit, now I have to reload. But that really doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, no, I mean, even now, like I think that would be better. I guess maybe I'm not seeing something that everybody else is seeing, but I mean, yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that 2011 magazines don't have like a insertion stop like a Glock mag does. So I mean that could ruin your ejector. But other than
Yeah.
that, like that'd be the only thing. But like, I mean, they're making those staccatos or the new magazines that have slide lock now from like Atlas, you know, so you can your
Yeah.
your magazine, your slide locks open. But
Yeah, I think I think it's the follower of
mhm.
anything. Maybe it's because you won't be able to fit as many rounds if the follower shaved. I don't know, but yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm sure that I'm missing something that somebody else doesn't. Is saying no, you're an idiot because of this reason.
Right. Exactly. I mean, yeah, you never know. Someone will probably tell us at some point and be like, this is
Yeah,
why. This is the
yeah,
reason why. But yeah, well, we're coming near to the very end, Nick. I really appreciate you coming on because this has actually been
yeah.
a blast.
Thanks for
But
having me.
yeah, but where is the best? What's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they want to take a class or just talk to you or what?
Through Instagram or Facebook. I definitely love helping out new shooters because I was there. I mean, everybody starts out somewhere, but if I can help somebody along that's not going to make the same mistakes, or I can help them out to where instead of me spending 4 years learning a mistake, I can make them, learn that in a year or a class or a couple classes. That'd be, it's more fun seeing that than yeah, that paradigm starting to shift where it's more fun teaching almost. But yeah, no, and Instagram's a great way to get a hold of me, or my Facebook. But yeah, no, I definitely love teaching classes. So
Mhm.
if you want to
Well,
reach out.
that's awesome. Yeah, guys. So if you want to go take a class with Nick and you're in the Pennsylvania, New York, area, Maryland, hit him up, see him at a local match. You'll find him shooting in a very bright shirt because that's what he
Yeah.
does.
Yes.
So yeah, check him out, guys. Nick, again, thank you for coming on. It's been a
Yeah.
blast.
No, thanks for having me.
Guys and listeners, thank you for checking out this episode of Manny Talks Shooting. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, get out and do the things, and I will see you on the next one.